Hello, good Erev Shabbos, and I hope you're having an awesome day with all the excitement. Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Sukkot, Shmini Atzeres, Simchas Torah behind us, and now we are energized from them and looking forward to a fun and exciting and most of all, a healthy winter ahead of us. As you probably know, don't have to be paying too much attention following the weekly Torah portions. This week we start all again at Bereshis, the first parsha in the Torah, and we're so excited to see the Torah and its beautiful values and stories, another cycle in a new and refreshed light. I want to share with you a beautiful idea based on this week's Torah portion. The Midrash teaches us, shares this story, speaking about new starts, new beginnings, that the letter Aleph came to Hashem, the creator of the world, and said, well, I think you, God, should start the creation with me, because I'm the first letter of the world, of the Aleph base. It only makes sense that I would be the first letter in the Torah in the story of creation. But as you know, it doesn't work like that. Hashem, we know from the Torah, Bereshit bara, that the word Beis, the letter Beis, is what starts off the story of creation. So why? Why did Hashem not allow the plea of the Aleph to be listened to and have the Torah, the story of creation, start with it, but rather deferred Aleph away and deferred to Beis? Why is that? So the Midrash teaches us that Hashem explained to these beautiful little letters that no, Aleph, he says no. Arur, the word curse, starts with Aleph, and Beis is Baruch, starts with blessing. So says God, I want to start the world off with blessing, not with curse. So I'll start the world with the letter Beis, Bereshit bara. Now, the obvious question that I hope you're thinking about right now, I mean, it's a nice idea, but come on. There are many amazing words that start with Aleph and some negative words that start with Beis. So like we're pinning Aleph to be like a negative word that we can't start the world with, and Beis is like the greatest letter in the Aleph base. I'm saying, look, with the letter Aleph, Ahava, which means love, Emes, which means truth, and Amuna, which means faith. So faith, truth, and love in Hebrew all start with Aleph. Those are all amazing things. So just because Arur, which means curse, happens to start with an Aleph, that's going to pin it and define it as like this negative letter that the world can't start with it. So what's going on? So I think the understanding is something subtle but very powerful as well. That Aleph is defined in this context as curse, not just because it starts off the word Arur, which means a curse, but it's because of its numerical value. Its numerical value is 1, and 1 represents loneliness. It represents not having another to share with, to be sensitive with, to be with. 1 is alone and sad, and that's a curse. Beis is 2, togetherness. The multiplicity and the harmony between the two, that is the blessing. I mean, not only is the numerical value of Beis 2, but it's unique. There are a few examples of this, but it's unique that the letter itself, Beis, is also a full word in and of itself. What's Beis? I'll just re-emphasize the syllables. Bayis, Beis, Bayis. The way you spell them is the same. Beis, Yod, Taf, the way you spell the letter Beis. Bayis, which is a house, a home, which is the place where multiple people live in harmony, differences live in harmony together. That is blessing. Family, friends, community, that is the existence of blessing. That's what God meant. That's what the Midrash meant, that God was telling, I can't start with Aleph, which represents loneliness, 1, Arur, curse. Got to start with Beis, which represents 2, multiplicity, harmony under one roof, even though they are different. That is life of existence. Hashem skipping Aleph, and choosing Beis to create the world as the letter of creation. Bereshit bara, in the beginning Hashem created, right? That Beis, it starts off the entire story of the creation because Hashem wanted to give the message over to us and to the whole existence, that the entire existence of the world, the underlying motif of what the world is built on, is Olam Chesed Yiban. The world is created on kindness. It's created on this unity and togetherness, the harmony that only multiple perspectives and differences could create by living together, by being together. Especially during these times, when people are alone more than ever, and we have to be sure to reach out to them and to be an awesome parent, awesome child, an awesome sibling, an awesome community member, and an awesome friend, because that's what we need to do now. That's what we always need to do, because by starting the world's creation narrative with the letter Beis, Hashem was telling us that that's the underlying motif, that's the message, that's the mainstay and the sustenance of the world, which is Beis, two, bayis, house, togetherness and harmony. Have a beautiful and awesome, uplifting Shabbos. Shabbat Shalom.